What's going on, guys? Marcus here, back in the shop, and I'm doing something slightly different. Instead of me reviewing a well-known album from a well-known artist or whatever, I'm actually reviewing a mixtape from a young dude I met on Instagram last week. His name is Kid Jemini, and I talked to him last Sunday and he sent me his stuff. So he wants to know what I think about his mixtape. So here we go.
Something new. Stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Oh, no.
So after a week of listening to this mixtape called Iconic by this guy, young guy, 18-year-old kid named Kid Jemini from the Georgia area. I'm not sure exactly where, if he's from either Atlanta, where most of these well-known artists are from, or just from like the suburbs or the outskirts of Atlanta. I'm not really sure. So far from what I heard from his music, he's definitely not your typical Southern artist as far as the sound of his music, whether it's the productions and even his lyricism. And he doesn't have a super thick accent like your T.I.'s and your Migos and your Futures. Not to say I have an issue with that Southern drawl. I mean, it is what it is. As long as I understand you and you can communicate and whatnot, like you can talk and you sound slightly decent and your music sound good, then we can roll. So I don't really get that Southern accent from him, which is cool. Again, I don't have no problem with that. But like, I was kind of surprised when he told me he was from Georgia. Again, I'm not sure if everyone from Georgia has a thick accent like that. Maybe it's just people who live in or outside of the Atlanta region or not. So if you're from Atlanta or if you're from Georgia, let me know. I'm just out of curiosity. Regardless of all that, we're here to do a mixtape review. We're not here to talk about, you know, the South and the accents or whatever. So getting on to business. When I first heard it, I didn't listen to it right away from the intro to the outro right away. I kind of just mixed around with it just to get a taste. And from what I heard at first, I was feeling it. The song specifically that I really loved, I'll mention a little bit, but I did that for like the first 5 to 10 minutes just because I think I was slightly busy when he sent me his stuff. So I was just playing around with it and I was just listening to it real quick. And I liked what I heard. But when I actually listened to it from the beginning to the end, I'm not gonna lie, the first song just did not grab me right away. Notice how I said right away, so pay attention there. The first minute, I could tell, okay, this dude has some talent as far as rhyming. He has some lyrics, so he's not just these cat in the hat ass rappers. No, he can actually, you know, put the pen to the test or whatever. But I felt like the beat was just okay. It just seemed mediocre for the first minute and 36 seconds, I believe. Now, again, within the first minute and 36 seconds, because from there, the beat just changes and it just totally flips me on my head, and even his style just boom, out the door. Super rapid, fast pace. Not to the point where it's like Twista, Bone Thugs, where you don't really understand what he's talking about. No, he's just going fast paced, but he's still very clear. So I don't have that issue of him. Well, I guess you could say he doesn't have that issue of stumbling and messing up his words. It's just real boom, 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 boom. Like, he's catching the beat. It's ridiculous. So at the beginning of the song, I'm not sure if he did this on purpose to make it seem like, it's okay. Nah, he can rhyme, but it's all right. And then to a total 360 or 180 or whatever, it's like, yo, dude can spit. And this beat is banging. That's how I felt about the first song. So again, it did not grab me right away. And again, I'm not sure if you did that on purpose to kind of fool your audience, which if it is, if that's what you meant to do, then props to you. If you didn't, my bad. But that's honestly how I felt. It just, the first minute just did not grab me until it flipped, and that shit just, like, it just turned me on my head. Now, as far as the rest of the mixtape goes, I was definitely digging it, man. Like, I really do like what you have going on. I mean, you have some tight interludes. You sampling movies like State Property on Beanie Siegel. I think he was just like taking over different corners or whatever. I thought that was pretty dope. And I'm like, man, what does this boy know about State Property, man? He's too young for that. I'm probably too young for that. I mean, that shit came out when I was like in middle school, maybe early high school. But regardless of all that, like, I really love what he's got going on. Like, he definitely has some talent. When people talk about they putting out mixtapes or whatever, not necessarily everybody, but people still have that idea of just doing freestyles on the hottest songs that are out. So if a Weezy song comes out, people might just do a freestyle on that beat and they just put that on their mixtape. Or if a Drake song comes out, they just do a quick 16 on that beat and put it out. So I didn't know if that was the kind of mixtape he was handing me, so I wasn't really sure. But no, this is all original music. If there are beats from different artists that he took just as an instrumental, then I guess you know, that's not a big deal, but I didn't notice that. It seemed like all original music to me, which is dope, like, because this isn't even, to me, this is not even a mixtape, it's more of an album. So I guess you can classify it as a mixtape, but it seemed more like an album to me. And if that's the case, then props to you, man, because that shit was lit, man. It was dope. I liked it a lot. It shows that you actually have songwriting talent, because there are plenty of people out there, even lyricists, who can just spit and rhyme their ass off. They just go in a cypher. So back in the day when I used to rhyme with my friends or whatever, we would do the same thing. Everybody just go. As far as me, personally, I wasn't the best songwriter. I could write a nasty 16. I mean, this is the music that I grew up listening to, you know, Wu-Tang, Nas, Jay, Outkast or whatever. So I had a very influential upbringing when it comes to lyricism. So I could tell you do too, but you have that talent of songwriting, and a lot of people don't have that. So we'll take the guys from Slaughterhouse, like Joell Ortiz specifically. If you are a Joell Ortiz fan, excuse me, I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, but guys like that, they crush ciphers. Battle rappers, they do their thing, they go off. But when it comes to songwriting, it's not always there. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it just falls flat, it's boring, the hook or the chorus just doesn't grab the listener, and that's why they always stay in their little bubble. You, on the other hand, you actually have that talent when it comes to songwriting. So you have that advantage because you can spit, you have concept, and you can make a good song. Now when it comes to the actual songs, I want to say the two that just sticks out the most, other than the intro, is 97 and Flip It. Them shits go. Those are my top bangers right now. Like, I can legitly say with an honest face, you look me in my eyes and I can honestly tell you, those songs I can actually listen to back to back to back. I'm not lying when I tell you I can just listen to that shit like years from now, because that's that boom, I don't want to say boom bap, but that's that real hip hop shit that I really like, especially 97. Just by calling it 97, it kind of reminded me of like a Joey Badass type of feel. 93 till infinity, something like that, whatever. So anytime somebody, for whatever reason, anytime somebody names something after a 90s era, like 91, 92, 93, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna automatically assume that you're taking a 90s approach. And y'all know me, I'm a sucker for that. I love that lyrical boom bap stuff. And when I played 97, I was like, oh my God, yo, this kid is killing it. Like, this shit is fire. Now, when it comes to Flip It, same thing. I like 97 a lot more. That's just my shit right there. But Flip It is the same thing. That shit just goes. Your flow patterns are ridiculous. You can really ride the beat. Like, I really don't have much else to say about it, but just I'm super impressed. Now, you have to take what I say as a grain of salt because that's my kind of music. That's the music that I prefer, the real lyrical shit. Now, when it comes to other people, other listeners, you know, in this new era, lyricism, it sells, but it doesn't always sell. You know, some people just want to listen to some party tracks or some ratchet shit, which is nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not trying to hit J. Cole and Nas in the club, honestly. Not that I go to clubs anymore. I'm 25. Like, that shit is starting to kind of phase me or whatever. But with that being said, them joints are knocking, but they're street joints. They're not them club bangers. And I'm not telling you to make club bangers. You make the music that makes you happy. But with that being said, the majority of the album, your flow pattern is, I don't want to say redundant or repetitive. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. You know, you had that fast-paced style, which is something it's a gift, honestly. It's very talented of you. You're very talented for that because not everyone could do that. But with that being said, in order to draw more of an audience and widen your horizons, now I'm not saying to do this now, but you may want to think about diversifying it from time to time, which you did in certain songs like Legend in the Making and Let It Breathe. So Legend in the Making and Let It Breathe, where the beat wasn't necessarily fast, it was just a normal boom, 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 or whatever, you know what I mean? It was just a normal fast, it was just a normal paced beats, and you just rode the beat like it was nothing. And it wasn't necessarily like, you know, super fast like Eminem. Again, if you watched my game review on the documentary too, I mentioned Jay-Z, how when he first came out, he was like, not to say that's how your style is, but it is super fast. But you notice how Jay, when he came out the gate, he was doing that. And in order to bring out a different audience, he ended up switching his style to something that's a little more, not slower paced, but something that could just ride the beat to grab different listeners. Because not everyone is going to grab that attention, because some people might, I play that to some of my friends or whatever who are not really influenced by music. They just like what they hear, and they might be like, yo, I'm not trying to hear that shit, man. I don't even know what he's talking about. Not to say that your style is like that, because I feel like I can still understand you. Like certain MCs, they still spit super fast, like Eminem for instance, and you could, for the most part, you can still understand him. So all I'm saying is I think you should eventually diversify it, you know, if you want to bring out a different crowd. But that's just me, man. You can do whatever you want. Me personally, I think you're always gonna have that backpacker fan base. But if you want to diversify a little more, you might want to think about that. Now, I'm not sure who your influences are. I'm assuming it's gonna be a bunch of 90s guys or just guys who can lyrically spit. I did see in your bio that when you saw Kanye West of The Wire, that influenced you to become an artist. That's just weird to me because I don't really hear a Kanye West style from you. I will say though, and I'm not saying it's true, but I definitely noticed a comparison with you and Logic, who was around my area. He's from Maryland. So I'm not sure if you've listened to Logic, but you guys do kind of sound similar. Your styles are very, very similar. There were a couple times when I was listening to your mixtape in the car just driving to work or school or whatever, and I might have zoned out. You know how you do when you zone out when you're driving somewhere. And at one point, I'm thinking I'm listening to Logic. I don't know what it was. I'm tripping or whatever. I'm like, yo, when Logic dropped this shit? And I'm like, oh, duh, this that one kid, this King Jemini must be tripping. But I'm not sure if you've listened to his music and use it to influence you or not. I'm not saying this is a bad thing either, but you guys definitely do sound very similar. Kind of how like Action Bronson and Ghostface Killer, how they get that same comparison. I don't want to necessarily say that Action Bronson copies Ghostface's style. I honestly just feel like his voice sounds similar. That's not saying that he's biting them, honestly. I feel like they still have two different lanes when it comes to their shit. That's how I feel. I really don't feel like Ghost or Action is actually biting his whole entire style. So I'm not saying you're biting Logic's style. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying you guys do kind of sound similar, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not sure if you've heard that comparison, but you might hear in the future. I don't want to say that it's a bad thing again, but hey, just my point of view. Anyway, guys, in conclusion, this joint is dope, man. I'm actually going to put a link in the description below. So if you do want to hear an artist from the South that's not your typical Southern trap artist or whatever, I would say go take a listen to this. His name is King Jemini. I'll post his mixtape. It's off of Dat Piff, so you can listen to it for free, of course. And so I'll post it in the description box, and I'll post his Instagram so you can follow him. Personally, I love the joint. I'm glad, you know, he gave me some time for the week to listen to it, because sometimes like when an album drops on a Friday and I put the review Friday night or Saturday morning, I feel kind of pressured, because it's like when it comes to good music or just music in general, I feel like a day is just not enough to put out a full review. Sometimes you just need that extra day to listen to the songs over and over again to catch certain things. And that's kind of what it was with this mixtape. I mean, he sent it to me on a Sunday. I'm done busy during the week, man. I got school, I got work, full-time student. So sometimes if I'm listening to music, like I said earlier, I zoned out. I was thinking I was listening to a different artist. It happens. So sometimes I'm not putting my full attention onto this certain CD or whatever. So I'm glad you gave me that time to actually put it out there. So I actually had fun listening to this. So as a rating, I want to say it's going to be either a 9 or a 10. I don't really review mixtapes, honestly, because I feel like it's kind of weird to review. Not to review, excuse me, to give it a rating, because they just vary. Like I said earlier, there's a bunch of mixtapes out there that people do where they just freestyle on random popular beats. Whereas with this one, it seems more like an album to me. So I'm going to classify it as an album right now. So as a rating, I think I'm going to just keep it safe and just call it a 10. I love everything about it. There's nothing on there that just makes me want to go, skip. Nah, I'm not really feeling that. It's okay. I really don't have any complaints. Again, my only thing about the album that kind of threw me off was the introduction. And again, I don't know if you did that on purpose to kind of trick your listener to say, well, this shit is kind of corny. Oh shit, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you did that on purpose or not, but I kind of fell for it, because again, I wasn't really feeling the first minute, but once that beat dropped, it totally changed my mind. So that's pretty much it, guys. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Again, I'm posting his mixtape in the description box, so go listen to it and let me know what you guys think. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video, and share this mixtape, man. You know, support your local artists out there. Till next time.